Welcome back guys. Myth Wukong received its first major update in the form of patch version 1.0.8.14860. This is the update log. The patch's size is around 1.6 GB, but you need to have around 80 GB of free space for the game to update properly. This new update fixes FSR related crashing issues, also includes tons of fixes. In this video, I'll be covering the later chapters of this game on my Steam Deck running on SteamOS, especially the third chapter, which is way more demanding on the hardware than the first chapter. I'll be also showing you how to install the free DLSS Enabler mod in order to enable FSR 3.1 frame generation and XeSS version 1.3 upscaler. We'll also show you how to fix the graphical artifacts caused by DLSS Enabler. FSR 3 mods are not perfect in this game running on AMD GPU. If you set the in-game texture quality to anything other than low, textures won't be rendered properly. They will appear blue in color. I have already demonstrated this bug on my ROG Ally running on Windows, so it's not just limited to SteamOS. But I'll be honest, not a big loss for Steam Deck. Low preset is recommended anyway in order to get the best possible performance. In some demanding chapters, FPS will often drop into the mid-20s. First I'll show you how to install DLSS Enabler. We'll be using its beta 12 build. You can download it for free from GitHub page. I'll give its link in the description. Just scroll down, click on assets and download the exe file. Click on it. I've already downloaded it. Just open Dolphin File Explorer, then click on downloads. Here you should find DLSS Enabler's exe file. There it is. Right click, click on add to Steam. This is SteamOS running in desktop mode. Open Steam. Look for the exe file. If it does not show up in your Steam library, just restart Steam. Select it, click on the settings cog here, click on properties. Now click on compatibility, check this box. I'm using the latest version of GE Proton 9-11. Select it. Before installing DLSS Enabler, I'll just show you the games directory where you need to install DLSS Enabler. Select Myth Wukong, Steam version, right click, manage, browse local files. Open B1 folder, open binaries folder, open Win64 folder. This is the final directory. I have installed the game on SD card. Back to Steam. Launch DLSS Enabler. Its setup wizard will pop up. There it is. Click on I accept. Next. Next. Specify the game directory. Redrive in my case. SD card. Steam apps. Common. Myth Wukong. B1 folder. Binaries folder. Win64 folder. This is the final directory. OK. Next. First option check, install as a version.dll file. Check this box, enable support for AMD and Intel GPUs. Next, install, wait for the process to complete. There you go, uncheck this box, click on finish. DLSS Enabler has been installed. Now select Myth Wukong. We need to add a launch option to the game. Click on the settings cog here, properties, general section. Add this line of text. I'll provide it in the description of the video. You can remove DLSS Enabler from your Steam library. Its job has been done. Now open the game's install directory. I'll just switch to FSR 3.1. Just go to a directory where you install DLSS Enabler. Open B1 folder, open binaries folder, Win64 folder. Here look for nvngx.ini file. There it is. Generator is set to auto by default. If you want to use FSR 3.0 frame generation, just replace auto with FSR 30. If you want to use FSR 3.1, just replace auto with FSR 31. I'll use FSR 3.1. Typed FSR 31. Save. We are ready to run the game. I'll just switch to SteamOS gaming mode. Connected my Cosmic Byte Stellaris gamepad to Steam Deck via Bluetooth mode using GE Proton version 9-11 as the compatibility lab. Now you need to set the game's resolution at 720p from SteamOS settings, otherwise there will be some graphical artifacts around the character model. Some flickering will also be present around the bottom edge of the display. This can be done very easily. Just tap on the settings cog here, then tap on properties, general section, game resolution. Set the resolution to 720p. Enable the setting, set resolution for internal and external display. If you don't use this setting, you won't be able to run the game at 720p resolution. 800p resolution will be available. This will cause some graphical artifacts. I own the LCD variant of Steam Deck. Its refresh rate is capped at 60Hz. Performance overlay, I'll set the level to 2. Disable frame limit and allow tearing settings enable. This will uncap the FPS. Help in reducing the latency. See. Display settings, mode set to borderless. Now we have access to 720p resolution. Frame rate cap, VSync and motion blur disabled. Graphics. Resolution scale set to 59%. You can set the resolution scale to 50%. It will help in improving the performance. Gain a few more frames, but the image quality will look very soft. This is why I'm not using it. DLSS enable, it's basically XeSS version 1.3. Frame generation on. FSR 3.1. Ray tracing disable, of course. Everything set to low. I'll just disable frame generation for the time being. Area load up. Forest of Felicity, 3rd chapter. Very demanding. FPS is within a range of 34 to 40. No frame generation. Prior to the latest update, game was crashing for me here on Steam Deck. This issue has been fixed now. Gameplay is a bit choppy. This is XeSS upscaler. Now I'll enable FSR 3.1 frame generation on. This chapter is quite big in scale and more demanding on the hardware than the first chapter. It's going to take you some time to complete this chapter. The FPS here is close to 60 with frame generation enabled. Check out the input response. Input delay is not a problem. See, game's HUD elements are not flickering. No flickering is going on around the character model. No flickering around the bottom edge of the display. A screen tearing like effect can be observed around the left and right edges of the display. Common FSR 3 related artifact. Okay, I'll show you some combat. Just a statue. Real thing. I'll head for the next shrine. Hitting the GPU bottleneck. Power draw 24 watts. I'll use this thing. I'll be honest guys, not the ideal experience, but you can definitely play this game on Steam Deck even with frame generation enabled. Yeah, FPS dropped down to around 55 there. Depends on the scene. Way to the next shrine. 55 to 70 FPS here. Now I load one of the most demanding areas in this game. 3rd chapter, Bitter Lake. Not sure of the Bitter Lake. Area loaded up, you can see FPS is close to 50 with frame generation enabled. It's due to this giant turtle in the background, literally a titan, and it's moving, not just a statue. Not a big deal though, it's a small sequence. You can complete it quickly, kill the enemies here, proceed to the next sequence. See, FPS in this sequence will be within a range of 45 to 55. Few itches here and there. Take out this thing. Wow, this thing is strong. Their attacks did so much damage. You can see FPS is already close to 60. Oh no, the other creature jumped on me. Don't want a 2 versus 1 in this game. I'll load the 4th chapter now. The Webbed Hollow, Village of Lanxi. This is the 4th chapter. It's not as demanding as the 3rd chapter. See, FPS is within a range of 70 to 77. I think it was the snow effect. It was very demanding on the GPU. Input response. Impressed by DLSS Enabler's performance. I've already beaten the boss of this area. I'll just enter the estate. It was that spider woman. FPS. What the hell is this thing? Yeah, these creatures are powerful. Let's use my abilities. Oh no, 1 HP. That was close. Transform. These cool looking effects are not slowing down the game. So it was only the 3rd chapter that caused the FPS to drop down to as low as 40-45. In most of the chapters, FPS should stay above 60 with frame generation enabled on Steam Deck. So that's it with the video guys. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.